Good afternoon and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. Tensions have escalated at the border between Israel and Lebanon, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accusing Iran-backed Hezbollah of sending its fighters into Israeli territory. On Monday, a security incident was reported by Israeli defense forces at the northern border with Lebanon. Soon, visuals emerged of smoke at the disputed Sheba Farms area along the border. Controlled by Israel since the 1967 war, Sheba Farms have been claimed by Lebanon as a part of its territory. Israel claims that 3 to 5 Hezbollah fighters crossed over into their territory and that they retreated after being fired upon by Israeli forces. Residents also say that they heard explosions in the area. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a strong warning to Lebanon, saying it would bear full responsibility for any attacks carried out from the Lebanese soil. He also warned that Hezbollah that it was playing with fire and vowed to respond with great force to any future provocation.
אנחנו רואים את הניסיון לחדור לשטחנו בחומרה רבה. חיזבאללה ומדינת לבנון נושאים במלוא האחריות לאירוע הזה ולכל התקפה שתצא משטח לבנון נגד מדינת ישראל. חיזבאללה צריך לדעת שהוא משחק באש. כל התקפה נגדנו תענה בעוצמה רבה.
The Hezbollah, for its part, however, has denied any involvement in these attacks. It has described the incident as an attempt by Israel to create false victories. Hezbollah blamed Israel for the exchange of gunfire at the border, saying it was a one-sided attack. Israeli forces in the strategic Golan Heights remain on high alert almost 24 hours after the border attack. Tanks were seen patrolling the region earlier today. The Hezbollah earlier warned Israel that it would retaliate over the killing of one of its fighters in Syria a few days ago. Now we are being joined by Dr. Mordechai Kedar, former senior IDF military intelligence officer. Good afternoon to you and thank you for being with us. Now, tensions are escalating at the border between Israel and Lebanon. In your expert opinion, what is happening along the border with Prime Minister Netanyahu saying that Hezbollah is responsible, with Hezbollah obviously having now denied responsibility for these attacks?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that Israel is a state, while Hezbollah is a terror organization which killed dozens of thousands of citizens in Syria, in Lebanon, and in many other countries all over the world, I think in India as well. So we are dealing here with a terror organization per se, and whatever they announce is just like terror organization which announced announcements. Secondly, they tried yesterday to invade the Israeli space in the north. And Israel retaliated, I think that, I'm not sure that the people who came into Israel actually were attacked or were killed, but this is the issue. They are trying to kill us and we are trying to defend ourselves.
Doctor, this area, although controlled by Israel since the war in 1967, it is disputed by Lebanon and claimed as a part of its territory.
No, we occupied it in 1967 from Syria. And to Syria, we'll give it back where there is a peace between us and Syria. Maybe they formally took it from Lebanon, but it's not our business. We occupied it from Syria, and only to Syria we'll give it back.
Absolutely. And now Israel having amped up its security at the Golan Heights near the Lebanon border. What does this mean? Take us through the significance of this.
Well, today we have Hezbollah also in Syria and in the Golan Heights. Unfortunately for Syria, because Syria is not a state anymore, because all kinds of other organizations, especially from Iran, and don't forget that Hezbollah actually is the Lebanese tentacle of the Iranian octopus. And this is how we treat it. We fight against the Iranian expansion in Syria, and the whole escalation of yesterday is a result of the fact that Israel apparently killed one of the terrorists of Hezbollah in Syria. What was he doing in Syria? What was he looking for? Okay, those who come to spread terror and death should know that there is a price for what they do.
Thank you very much for bringing us all the latest there, joining us. Our North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, said that his country does not need to fight